what you saw in the previous episode, from Liverpool's savior of the last few decades to the failures that turned into historic successes. But that's not all. Today, we are going to end this story. But before that, we ask you to support us by hitting the bell button on the channel and liking this video so that we can make more of these special videos for you. After the glorious victory in the UEFA Champions League, Jürgen Klopp, a brilliant and charismatic commander, prepared his team for a new and historic season. Under his leadership, Liverpool, like a ready and united army, moved toward new heights and the conquest of the Premier League. With his unique knowledge and strategies, Klopp prepared the Red Army for the epic battles ahead. UEFA Super Cup victory, the first step toward glory. In August 2019, Liverpool faced Chelsea in an epic battle for the UEFA Super Cup. This match took place at Vodafone Park in Istanbul, the city that brought back the sweet memory of winning the Champions League in 2005 for Liverpool fans. The match ended 2-2 after regular and extra time and went to penalties. It was here that the determination and will of Klopp's team were on display. Adrian, the newly acquired goalkeeper, saved Tammy Abraham's penalty, securing Liverpool's victory in the Super Cup and giving Klopp and his players their first trophy of the season. In December 2019, Liverpool participated in the FIFA Club World Cup as Europe's representative. Held in Qatar, this tournament saw Liverpool, under Klopp's leadership, aiming to add another trophy to their collection. In the semi-finals, they defeated Monterrey from Mexico 2-1. In the final, Liverpool faced Flamengo from Brazil in a hard-fought and tense match. The first 90 minutes ended goalless, and the match went into extra time. In the 99th minute, Roberto Firmino scored the decisive goal, leading Liverpool to their first ever Club World Cup title. This victory was a testament to the power and greatness of the team under Klopp's leadership. A storming start, the rise to glory under Klopp's command. The season began with a 4-1 victory over Norwich City. Every goal signaled Klopp's strength in leading the team. Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and Divock Origi fought like gladiators under his guidance. The Red Army, led by Klopp, tore through every team in their path like a relentless wave. Liverpool versus Manchester City. One of the key moments of the season came in the epic battle between Liverpool and Manchester City at Anfield in November 2019. This match was considered a decisive game for the Premier League title. With Klopp's unparalleled tactics and the passionate support of the fans, Liverpool defeated Manchester City 3-1. Goals from Fabinho, Mohamed Salah, and Sadio Mane ensured this valuable victory, widening the gap between Liverpool and their rivals. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. As Liverpool surged toward the Premier League title, Jürgen Klopp sought to end the 30-year title drought. In a tough away game, they were trailing 1-0 until the 87th minute. But this wasn't the end. They had an appetite for dramatic victories, and in the final minutes, Andy Robertson and Sadio Mane reversed the result, delivering an astonishing win for Liverpool fans. Liverpool continued to overpower other teams. They humiliated their blue-clad City rivals with a 5-0 victory, and in a tough Boxing Day away match, defeated Leicester City, managed by Brendan Rodgers, 4-0. During this stretch of continuous victories, Liverpool defeated Manchester United 2-0 at Anfield. Mohamed Salah's last-minute goal, thanks to a brilliant assist from Alisson, became one of the most dramatic goals in Liverpool's history. Liverpool marched on unbeaten until week 28 of the Premier League. Every victory was a reflection of Klopp's tactical brilliance and unmatched human management skills. However, in a surprising turn of events, they tasted defeat at the hands of Watford. Later, in the Champions League knockout rounds, despite mounting a comeback, they were unexpectedly knocked out by Atletico Madrid due to fatal errors by Adriel. These setbacks, though disappointing, were overcome by Klopp's strong leadership and motivation. The coronavirus pandemic and the resumption of the Premier League. In March 2020, the coronavirus pandemic shook the world of football. Matches were halted, and concerns about the future of the league and Liverpool's potential championship grew. After a 3-month break, the Premier League resumed with health protocols, and Liverpool continued their winning streak. Upon the return of the matches, Liverpool came back with full force. Their foreground victory over Crystal Palace showed that the Red Army was still hungry for victory and the title. With each goal, they drew closer to their Premier League crown. On June 25, 2020, the moment that would forever be etched in Liverpool's history arrived. With Manchester City's loss to Chelsea, Liverpool's championship was confirmed. After 30 years of waiting, the Red Army reached the summit and placed the Premier League crown on their heads. Tears of joy and shouts of pride echoed from fans around the world. Klopp welcomed the historic moment with tears of passion and dedication, dedicating the title to the fans and players. The victory celebration, although without fans present, was filled with indescribable excitement and joy. The players, like victorious champions, held the trophy aloft. Klopp, with a smile full of pride and satisfaction, looked at his team, showing that with unity and hard work, no goal is beyond reach. This season, shaped by effort, determination, and unity, became historic. After their historic victory in the Premier League and the FIFA Club World Cup, Liverpool entered the 2021 season with great hopes and high expectations. Jürgen Klopp and his team not only had to defend their championship title, but also face new and unexpected challenges. Despite the addition of Thiago Alcantara, Diogo Jota, and Kostas Tsimikas to the team, Liverpool struggled with multiple injuries and the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Liverpool began the season with several consecutive victories, including crucial wins against Leeds United, Chelsea, and Arsenal. The match against Arsenal, which ended 3-1 with Diogo Jota's first goal in his official debut for Liverpool, showed that Klopp's team was still in top form and strength. However, the shadow of injuries soon fell over the team. Injuries, a major setback for Liverpool. One of the biggest challenges Liverpool faced that season was the numerous injuries to key players. Virgil van Dijk, the cornerstone of the defense, suffered an ACL injury early in the season against Everton and was sidelined for a long time, remaining out for the rest of the season. Then, Joe Gomez and Joel Matip also joined the list of long-term injuries, forcing Klopp to use Fabinho and Henderson in the defense for a while. The injury crisis even affected Fabinho and Henderson, leading Klopp to rely on young and new players for the defense. Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, and Ozan Kabak were the only available options for the defense, and their lack of experience made them vulnerable. Liverpool's decline amid injuries. As the number of injuries increased, Liverpool's performance gradually declined, and they suffered disappointing results. Bitter home defeats to Burnley, Brighton, and Everton pushed the team below expectations. Despite all the problems, Jürgen Klopp encouraged the team to never give up. With the return of some key players and the brilliance of players like Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane, Liverpool slowly started to find their form again. Champions League hopes fade. After this crisis period, Klopp admitted in an emotional interview, with tears in his eyes, that the team no longer had a chance to win the league. They were now focused solely on securing a Champions League spot for the next season after being eliminated by Real Madrid in the Champions League. With a few games left in the season, the battle for Champions League qualification became intense. Some nights later, Klopp heard the Champions League qualification become intense. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Leicester City were all fighting for the remaining spots, and any slip-up could cost them their place in the competition. Liverpool, Manchester United, In May 2021, Liverpool faced Manchester United in one of the most crucial matches of the season. This game, held at Old Trafford, was one of the most decisive in the race for the Champions League qualification. After Manchester United scored early in the game, things became difficult for Liverpool. But Diogo Jota, Roberto Firmino, and Mohamed Salah turned the game around. Liverpool, after years, managed to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford and continued their fight for a Champions League spot. In the match against West Bromwich, in the dying minutes of stoppage time, with the score tied at 1-1, Liverpool were on the verge of losing their Champions League qualification. This looked set to be Klopp's worst season at Liverpool. However, in the 95th minute, Alisson Becker, Liverpool's goalkeeper, went up for a corner kick into the opposition's penalty area. 6 seconds, this moment became one of the most dramatic in Liverpool's history. Trent Alexander-Arnold's delivery found Alisson with a precise header, and he scored the winning goal, giving Liverpool a 2-1 victory. This goal was not only a rare and emotional moment in football, but it also played a vital role in securing Liverpool's Champions League qualification. Alisson's emotional tears after scoring, dedicated to his late father, and Klopp's embrace, which Alisson described as a fatherly hug, became an iconic scene for all Liverpool fans. Securing Champions League qualification. In the final weeks of the season, Liverpool delivered impressive performances and secured their place in the Champions League for the following season. Wins over Burnley and Crystal Palace demonstrated that Klopp's team never gives up and always fights for glory. With these results, Liverpool finished the season in third place, earning their Champions League spot. The 2021 season for Liverpool was full of challenges and successes. Despite numerous injuries and a decline in form, Jürgen Klopp and his team managed to achieve significant successes through hard work and determination. This season proved that under Klopp's leadership, Liverpool is always capable of bouncing back and competing at the highest level. Klopp's leadership, unity, and incredible willpower continued to guide Liverpool towards a bright and successful future. After a challenging season and the departure of Wijnaldum, Jürgen Klopp's team needed a deep recovery for the upcoming season. Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, and Joel Matip returned to the squad after long-term injuries. And in the final collaboration between Jürgen Klopp and Michael Edwards, Liverpool added Ibrahima Konate to the defense. Following this, Michael Edwards ended his cooperation with Klopp's coaching staff. Liverpool was ready to rise like a phoenix from the ashes and begin the new season. They started the season with a victory over Norwich City and continued to take down teams, one after another. In the UEFA Champions League, they once again found themselves in the group of death, facing Milan, Atletico Madrid, and Porto. Their group stage began with a dramatic match against Milan, where Jordan Henderson's late goal secured a 3-2 victory. Liverpool also took revenge on Atletico Madrid, winning both encounters and finishing top of the group with 6 consecutive wins in the Champions League. In the Premier League, the battle for the title once again became a head-to-head contest between Jürgen Klopp's team and Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. The two teams drew 2-2 in both of their encounters, but at Anfield, a moment of magic from Mohamed Salah stunned the world. He took on all of City's defenders in an incredible solo goal, a moment that became iconic for Liverpool fans. Liverpool's attack, sharper than ever, continued to show their lethal form and left other teams in awe. In a historic moment, they defeated Manchester United 5-0 at Old Trafford, with a hat-trick from Salah. The story continued at Anfield, where United suffered another heavy defeat, this time 4-0, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of Liverpool supporters. A dramatic encounter between Jürgen Klopp and Mikel Arteta at Anfield followed. The tension between the two managers ignited the crowd, and Liverpool fans passionately supported their team, who went on to demolish Arsenal 4-0. Liverpool continued their excellent form, beating Everton 4-1 at Goodison Park, narrowly defeating Wolverhampton 1-0 thanks to a last-minute goal from Divock Origi, and overwhelming Newcastle with a powerful strike from Trent Alexander-Arnold. In domestic cup competitions, Liverpool showed great strength as well. Klopp was eager to win the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. Origi and Takumi Minamino played crucial roles, pushing the team forward in domestic cup matches. They made a spectacular comeback against Leicester City, overturning a 3-0 deficit to win in penalties thanks to Saukwing Heng Kelleher's key saves. In the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, Liverpool triumphed over Arsenal, and in the final at Wembley they faced Chelsea. The match went to penalties, where Virgil van Dijk scored one of the most beautiful penalties in football history. The final penalty shootout was won when Kepa Arrizabalaga missed his shot, giving Klopp his first Carabao Cup title with Liverpool. In the middle of the season, Salah and Sadio Mane were unavailable due to the Africa Cup of Nations, and the team once again struggled with a series of injuries. However, Klopp handled the crisis brilliantly, keeping the team competitive for more trophies. Liverpool also performed excellently in the FA Cup, defeating Manchester City in the semi-final to reach the final. Once again, they faced Chelsea, and after a repeat of their previous cup final scenario, the match went to penalties. This time, Kostas Tsimikas scored the winning penalty in the 7th round, and Liverpool secured their first FA Cup title under Klopp at Wembley. In the winter transfer window, Klopp added Luis Diaz from Porto, creating a fiery attacking line for Liverpool. With 7 lethal attackers, Liverpool's attack became a nightmare for every team they faced. The season progressed intensely, with Liverpool gradually knocking out teams. However, a draw in one match left them 1 point behind Manchester City. The title race for the Premier League came down to the final week. Liverpool faced Wolverhampton at Anfield, while Manchester City played Aston Villa at the Etihad Stadium. The final moments of both games were nerve-wracking. Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa, with goals from Matty Cash and Philippe Coutinho, led City, while Liverpool, thanks to goals from Mane and Salah, were ahead. However, City managed to win 3-2, and despite Liverpool's 3-1 victory, they finished second by a single point, with their dream of a historic quadruple shattered. In the Champions League, Liverpool progressed through knockout rounds, defeating Inter Milan, Benfica, and Villarreal to reach the final. Liverpool vs Real Madrid. The final was held at the Stade de France, where Liverpool sought revenge. Klopp's team dominated the match with 24 shots compared to Madrid's 4, but Thibaut Courtois was unbeatable in goal. Liverpool conceded a goal in a moment of lapse, and despite their dominance, the match ended 1-0 in Real Madrid's favor, denying Liverpool 2 crucial trophies in the final moments. And tears flowed from the eyes of Liverpool fans as they fell just short of glory, with Klopp deserving the title but unable to overcome the familiar feeling of déjà vu. Liverpool celebrated a championship, with the city's people to restore the team spirit. However, the historic trio of Salah, Mane, and Divock Origi leaving Liverpool. The season began with good news for Liverpool fans. Jürgen Klopp extended his contract until 2026, and Mohamed Salah also renewed his contract until 2025. However, the transfer window this season was arguably one of the weakest during Klopp's tenure. He brought in Darwin Núñez, Fabio Carvalho, Calvin Ramsey, and on loan Arthur Melo. Unfortunately, both Arthur Melo and Calvin Ramsey suffered long-term injuries, and they barely played for Liverpool. The first match of the season for Liverpool was the FA Community Shield against Manchester City. Played at Leicester City's stadium, Liverpool won the match 3-1 with goals from Mohamed Salah and Darwin Núñez, starting the season with a trophy. Klopp had now won all major trophies with Liverpool, and from here on, he was aiming to repeat his success. The season, however, started with injury crises once again. Thiago, Keita, Chamberlain, and Konate were among the early injuries. As the season progressed, Jota, Milner, and Luis Diaz also sustained long-term injuries, severely limiting Liverpool's squad depth. Liverpool started the season far below expectations. Darwin Núñez's unethical headbutt on a Crystal Palace player due to extreme frustration, resulting in a red card, angered Klopp. Liverpool managed to draw that game with a brilliant solo goal by Luis Diaz, but the result was far from satisfactory for the fans. The season was one of the most fluctuating for Klopp's team. While they suffered defeats, they also had surprising victories. These included a 7-0 win against Rangers, Mohamed Salah setting the record for the fastest hat-trick in Champions League history. A 9-0 victory against Bournemouth, the biggest win in Premier League history. A 1-0 win over Manchester City with Salah's goal from an Alisson assist, and a 1-0 win over Napoli, who were undefeated in Europe. Mid-season, Liverpool was in complete crisis, and Klopp apologized to the fans for the team's poor performance. After the World Cup break, Liverpool added Dutch forward Cody Gakpo, who had an immediate impact on the team. In one of the rare positive games, Liverpool pulled off a dramatic comeback against Newcastle at Anfield, winning 2-1 with a 97th-minute goal from Fabio Carvalho. Despite this, Liverpool was eliminated from all domestic cup competitions, and their only goal for the season became securing a Champions League spot for the next season. As the season neared its end, Liverpool's task became incredibly difficult. They had to face Manchester United at Anfield. The game was 1-0 in Liverpool's favor, thanks to a goal from Gakpo, but in the second half, something unbelievable happened in front of Sir Alex Ferguson's eyes in the stands. Liverpool defeated Manchester United 7-1 in one of the most historic games ever, humiliating the Red Devils. A few weeks later, Liverpool faced Tottenham at Anfield. They were 3-0 up, but Tottenham equalized at 3-3 by the 95th minute. However, after a dramatic moment, just seconds after Richarlison's goal for Spurs, Alisson's quick throw sent the ball to Diogo Jota, who scored the winning goal in the 96th minute, securing another dramatic victory for Klopp's team. Despite their efforts, Liverpool failed to qualify for the Champions League next season and endured one of their worst seasons. They will now compete in the UEFA Europa League next season. At the end of the season, during the final whistle, Roberto Firmino tearfully said goodbye to the Liverpool fans, marking his departure from the club. Along with the beloved Firmino, James Milner, Naby Keita, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain also bid farewell to the fans at Anfield. Liverpool will now undergo a rebuilding phase for the upcoming season. During the mid-season break, Saudi Arabian clubs gained more influence over European transfers. In an unexpected move, they signed Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, the captain of the team. Now, Jürgen Klopp had to step up and bring in young and fresh talent. He first announced that from the next season, Virgil van Dijk would be the team's new captain, and Trent Alexander-Arnold would be the vice-captain. Then, in the transfer window, Klopp brought in Sven Mislintat from Stuttgart as the sporting director to take charge of transfers. Their first move was to sign Alexis Mac Allister, Dominik Szoboszlai, Wataru Endo, and Ryan Gravenberch. These summer signings lowered the average age of the squad, marking a transfer revolution for the team. The season for Liverpool started with a draw against Chelsea. After that, they faced Newcastle. Newcastle took the lead, and a few minutes later, Virgil van Dijk was sent off. Liverpool had to play the rest of the match with 10 players. In the dying moments of the game, Klopp made a golden substitution, bringing Darwin Núñez on, and within 2 minutes, he turned the game around, leading Liverpool to a dramatic victory. Liverpool's comeback spirit didn't stop there. They managed to come back in the final minutes of matches against Wolves, Crystal Palace, and Leicester City, winning in dramatic fashion. However, the match against Tottenham became another example of injustice and refereeing mistakes in the Premier League. Even with the use of VAR, a legitimate goal by Liverpool was disallowed due to a referee's error. Liverpool ended up with 9 players on the field, and despite holding out until the 90th minute, a last-minute own goal by Joel Matip led to a loss. After widespread protests from Liverpool fans, the English refereeing committee apologized to the club for the clear mistake, but it offered no benefit to Klopp's team. Despite all of this, Klopp's leadership continued to guide Liverpool through victories in the Premier League and the Europa League. However, off-field incidents began to affect the team again. During a coup in Colombia, Luis Diaz's father was kidnapped, forcing Diaz to take time off from football due to emotional distress. Furthermore, Salah traveled to Ivory Coast for Africa Cup of Nations and returned with an injury, while Joel Matip and Thiago Alcantara missed the entire season due to injuries. Liverpool now had to compete for the title not only against Manchester City, but also against Arsenal. Liverpool drew both matches against City 1-1 and played Arsenal 3 times that season. In the FA Cup, they eliminated Arsenal, but in the league, they lost at the Emirates and drew at Anfield. However, another controversial decision occurred, and once again, the English refereeing committee apologized to Liverpool after the match. In one of their most exciting games of the season against Fulham at Anfield, it seemed that Liverpool's requirement for scoring goals was simply to make them beautiful. Alexander-Arnold opened the scoring with a brilliant free kick, followed by Mac Allister, who scored from a long-range shot. Before that, Fulham came back in the second half and led 3-2. But in the dying minutes of the game, Liverpool sealed the win in just 2 minutes with goals from Wataru Endo and Alexander-Arnold, marking another dramatic victory. In the midst of all this, an unexpected shock hit the entire Liverpool fan base. The official social media accounts of Liverpool suddenly announced that Jürgen Klopp would be leaving the club at the end of the season. Klopp, in an emotional interview, told Liverpool fans that he was leaving due to exhaustion and the need for rest, marking the end of his 9-year tenure at the club. Klopp had become a legendary figure for Liverpool fans, much like Bob Paisley, someone who took Liverpool out of a crisis, delivered all the major trophies, and brought them back to the top of English football after 30 years. The emotional atmosphere around the team was palpable, and after the announcement, Klopp's anthem was sung louder than ever by the fans. Even rivals spoke fondly of him, with Pep Guardiola choking up, expressing how much he would miss Klopp. Liverpool continued their remaining matches with more determination, now playing for Klopp. They reached the Carabao Cup final and faced Chelsea. Due to the ongoing injury crisis, Klopp had to field academy players. In extra time, in the 117th minute, a powerful header from Van Dijk gave Liverpool the lead, and they became Carabao Cup champions. Out of respect for Klopp, Van Dijk requested to lift the trophy with him, creating a beautiful moment that was captured by all the cameras in the stadium. Liverpool continued leading the league, but soon faced setbacks. They were eliminated from the FA Cup by Manchester United and from the Europa League by Atalanta. 2 consecutive losses caused them to slip from the top of the league. Klopp's team suddenly fell apart, and there was no longer the passion to continue. The public quarrels between Darwin Núñez and fans and the confrontation between Klopp and Salah added to the bitterness for the Liverpool faithful. What started as a sweet and dramatic ending turned into a sad conclusion. Liverpool could not win any further trophies, and the Carabao Cup became the last title of Klopp's era. I wish it would rain on our last game at Anfield, so no one would see my tears. These words from Klopp broke the hearts of Liverpool fans around the world, as they didn't want this story to end. The story of Klopp and Liverpool will undoubtedly go down as one of the sweetest stories in football history. And the joy, the tears, the victories, and the defeats over the 9 years that he was there. Finally, the last match between Liverpool and Wolves at Anfield arrived. Liverpool won 2-0 with goals from Mac Allister and Kwanzaa, but the real story was just beginning. As Thiago, Matip, and members of Klopp's staff bid farewell, the most emotional goodbye came when Klopp entered the field for the final time as Liverpool's manager. He spoke his final words to the fans and for the last time raised his clenched fist toward the Liverpool supporters. This marked the end of his story. The story of someone who had saved Liverpool over the past decade. He brought Liverpool back to its glory days, leaving behind triumphs and dramatic moments. And then he left Liverpool.